I might title this video, "You Will Be My Witnesses." Jesus said, "You will be my witnesses in Judea and Samaria and Galilee, into the uttermost parts of the earth," the uttermost parts of the earth. Jesus sent them. This is transformative to some people. I think most people just want to argue. Jesus sent them. Jesus did not say, "Be Bible translators." This blows my mind, because I almost went with a translation company. They call themselves missionaries, a translation company, and their main job was to teach people how to read, if they didn't know, and to put the Bible in their language. Pioneer Bible translators. There's also Wycliffe Bible translators. Jesus said, "You will be clothed with power not many days from now." And I think it was Paul that said, denying the power, having a form of godliness. A form of godliness, that's what we have. That's what the Pharisees had. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power of it. Denying the power of godliness, which is what people do. There was somebody in the church that was very religious. He asked me about my Bible. It was interlinear, whatever it was, interlinear Bible with two versions in it. He was very interested in the Bible I had, but he gossiped. He gossiped. He oppressed his son. He made his daughter grow up to be a silly girl who apparently went to prison along with her husband for abusing their children. This is and the Pharisees. I mean, he supposedly wanted to be religious. He looked to be religious. Jesus said, "All things are done for men to see." All things are done for men to see. He said they're not honest, and people didn't know it. People did not know it. Jesus said, "You are like unmarked graves that people walk upon unaware." They didn't know they're walking on graves. Jesus didn't say they're walking on Christmas presents. He said they're walking on unmarked graves. He said, "You study the scriptures because you think that in them you will have life." These are the same scriptures that talk about me, Jesus said, and you refuse to come to me, not to the scriptures, not to the scriptures. You refuse to come to me that you may have life. That man will not talk to his son. His son is a Christian. His daughter's been in jail, and his son-in-law has been in jail for apparently abuse. And he bailed after they abused their children. They have a lot of children. After they abused their children, he bailed them out. He bailed his son-in-law out of jail after he abused their children. Apparently, he was sentenced to years in prison. I heard that he bailed his son-in-law out of jail. I imagine he bailed his daughter out of jail for abusing children. Jesus said you are like unmarked graves. You're like somebody dug a hole in the ground. You're like a hole in the ground with dead people's rotting corpses in it, and you won't mark it to say, "Oh, here's a dead body here." People just fall in and land on the dead body. That's what Jesus was saying. And they studied the scriptures. Tell me this. If Jesus is the Bible, and the Pharisees had the Bible, the same Bible that Paul had, pretty much everything that Paul had, the Pharisees had, and Paul came to Christ, and the Pharisees didn't come to Christ, and in fact, many of them eventually did they not read the scriptures enough? Think. Don't assume. Don't believe what your pastor says. My pastors have told me, two of my pastors told me they're not Christians. Okay.